Okay, in this one we're going to add the health to our HUD, and we're going to add a way for our player to actually lose lives and lose points. So we're going to need a few things open here. We're going to need level 1 open, we're going to need the HUD open, we're going to need the enemy open, and also we're going to pull from some scripts as well. So the first thing we need to do from the enemy point of view is we have to actually add a new mechanism in order for us to interact with him. So when the player hits him, we need to do something. So make sure you've got the enemy selected, and then we're going to head on over to where it says node, and then the one we want is body entered. Okay, so here it is here, body entered. So that's when the player's body enters it, it does something. In this case, it's going to lose a health point and also lose some points. The enemy's going to steal from the character, which should be interesting. So let's press connect here. Make sure it's connected to the right one. Yep. And now it takes us over to our enemy script. Now, in actual fact, we don't need any of this. We're going to steal a lot of the code from our coin that we created in previous lesson. So if we go into our coin, we've already got a lot of what we need. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to borrow some stuff. The first thing I want to borrow is this extends, because we want the enemy to link into the HUD, okay, or into the HUD script. So I'm just going to press Control C to copy that, head back over to my enemy and just paste that. Now inside of our on enemy body entered, we want to paste some of that code that we had from the coin as well. So we're going to click back on the coin, and I'm just going to grab this bit here. So Control C again, and then head back to the enemy and then just paste it in. Make sure you've got the correct indent. Okay, so what this does is it says if the player's body enters into the character, do the following thing. So currently it sets 5 more points to the score, and then it removes the enemy. Okay, so we're happy with it removing the enemy. We're not happy with it giving 5 points. So what we actually want to do is we're going to steal from the character. So we're going to say minus equals 5. Okay, so if a player hits the enemy, it's actually going to lose 5 points. We just need one more line of code. So I'm just going to copy this as again, Control C, and we're going to create a new variable on the HUD in a moment. Control V. The variable that we're going to create is called health, and then we're going to link into it. So we're going to say health. Okay, hopefully I spelled that right. And we're going to take, every time it hits one of these enemies, it's going to take 1 life away. And then eventually when it's got 0 lives, it will actually do something else, and we'll code that a bit later. So let's just make sure we save all this. So scene, save all scenes, just to make sure that's done. So there's our enemy script, pretty much done. Now remember we created this health, okay? Now before we head on over to the HUD and do the final bit of scripting there, we actually need to add the health to the HUD itself. So let's go to where it says HUD, go to our 2D scene, and you'll notice at the moment we have just a score. So what I'm going to do is I've selected the score, I'm going to press Control D for duplicate, and then I'm just going to move it down. So you notice I've got score and score 2. Okay, I'm going to double click on this and name it health. I'm just going to put mine all in uppercase, okay, and then I'm going to come over to here and we're going to change the text. So the text we're going to have is health, and then we're just going to have health of 3, okay. So we're just going to start with three lives, if you like. You can say lives there if you want. Now it's up to you how you want these arranged. If it's not to your liking, you can actually move it up. I think in actual fact it's probably a bit too big, so we could probably make it a bit smaller. So if we come down to where it says custom fonts, hit the edit button, and I'm just going to change it to probably 40. And then press enter, and then I'm going to do the same with this one. So select this one, come down to where it says custom fonts, click the arrow, press edit, and also change that to, it's done it automatically. They are linked. Interesting. Okay, didn't know that would happen. Just check that's right. Yeah, okay, fantastic. Change one, changes them both. That's because I duplicated it. So That may cause me some errors later. If it does, then I might have to redo this, but let's just carry on as it is so far. So you can decide where you want to put it. You can also decide if you want to put a background behind it to make it more visual. For now, I'm just going to leave it like that. That's pretty much all I needed. I needed the health, and I needed to have a node that says health in order for me to access that in the code. So once again, let's just save all scenes, just make sure we're up to date, and let's just head back over to the scripts. Now in the scripts, we've done our enemy. Now we want to do our HUD. So we're going to do almost identical to setting up the coin and adding points for the health. Okay, so the first thing we're going to need to do is create a new variable. So we're going to say variable health. Now this has to be exactly the same as what we used in the enemy script. Okay, so you'll notice it has to be this. Okay, so all lowercase. So let's go back to the HUD. So it's health and then equals 3. So that's how many health points we're going to start with. And then we say set get. This is so it can talk to the variable. And then we say set health, which is going to be the function that we're going to create in a moment. Okay. The next thing we can do then is we can probably, actually let me just click this button here, which allows me to go full screen on the code. Otherwise it does cut it off. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to copy this function, Control C, and then Control V, and we're going to change the set score to set health, just like we've got at the top there. Okay, we're going to use value because the value that it's going to pull through for us is actually the value that it's communicating through this bit here. This bit here, we're going to update the value. So we're going to say health. Oops, make sure you spell it right. And then we're going to say get node. So for this one, we want to, yeah, that's right. We're going to set just the health up. We don't need to do anything else than that. So we're going to call it health. And remember, I called it all uppercase. This is the node that we've just created in the actual 2D menu. So if I show it to you, so it's this one here, okay? So we'll go back to the script, make it big again so we can see the whole code. And we're just going to say health. There we go. Now, there was one thing that I wanted to discuss with you guys from one of the last videos. Now I said in the last video, if you spelled it all uppercase, it would cause you an error. In actual fact, for some reason, that's just on Mac machines. On Windows machines, because I got to school and we got the same error but in reverse. So on the Windows machines in school, they have to spell it HUD all in uppercase. That error that I find on my machine here is not the same in school. So I just want to make that clear. So if you're in school, you can just say HUD here, and that will work. And the same here. For me, unfortunately, there is some kind of error with the Mac system that doesn't like that for some reason. I'm not sure why. Or it might be just something that I've done that I haven't realized, but I just want to make you aware of that. Anyway, so we've got the node of health. We're going to set the text. Now, the text that we're going to set for that node is going to be health. And that is, and we have to obviously pull in the variable as well. So health. And I think that's pretty much it. So let's save all scenes again, make sure that's saved, and let's go and check it. Let's see if it works. So I'm going to go back to 2D, I'm going to go back to level 1. We've already got my players in, so hopefully we should see something. So I'm going to press run. Now, you can see I've got my score of 0 and I've got my health of 3. Now, if I try and avoid these things, now if I collect this gem, I obviously go up to 10 points. Now if I collect this coin, I go up to 15. Now if I go backwards and hit this, my score should go to 10 and my health should go to 2. So here we go. There we go. So all is good, all works. And let's just see if I can do that one. So the more of these things I hit, obviously eventually it would steal all my money and I would eventually die. So let's add one more bit of code so that our player actually dies if it loses all of its health. Okay, so if the health gets to 0, it goes to the end scene. Now the end scene, we we created a few weeks ago. So what we're going to do then, we're going to head on back over to our scripts and we're just going to add 2 more lines of code. So we want to be in the HUD script, and let's just make this a bit bigger so we can see the whole line of code. We're just going to add 1 more line of code here. So it's going to be an if statement. We're going to say if health, which is the variable we created, is less than or equal to 0, do something. Don't forget the colon at the end. Now what do we want it to do? What we want to do is, if it gets to 0, we want it to go to a different scene. The scene that we want it to go to is going to be the you lose scene, okay? So we're going to say get tree, and then the brackets, dot change scene, okay? Now we just want the speech marks here, and we want to go and get the scene that we need. So I'm just going to close this up. Now the scene that we need is the you lose menu, okay? So if I open this up, if I double click, my you lose menu looks like this, okay? That's where we want it to go, so they can actually start again. Okay, so let's go back to the script. Let's make sure we're on the HUD, and we're going to paste it in here. So we're going to right click on the you lose menu. We're going to say copy path, and then we're going to paste our path in there. So if our points get 0 or lower, the game will end and it will go to the you lose menu, okay? So that's fantastic. Let's just make sure we save that. There is one more thing I need to do, and that is on this main level, I just need 1 more enemy. So let me just click on this, Control D to duplicate, and let's just add 1 more there. I better not put him there, otherwise he won't be able to get past the ladder. Let's save all scenes, and let's just see if this works. So click on the run button. So the first time I've lost a point, and I'm now gone into -5, so I better grab some points. So we're now up to 15. Now if I click on this one, I go to health of 1. And then if I click on this one, I now die. So everything works there, and if you lose 3 health points, you now die. Then you click on this one and you can start again. There is a couple of issues here. Let me close this. There is a couple of issues here where the score and the health still remain on the screen, but we'll sort that in a later video. So get that in, and I'll see you in the next video.